Hi guys, I'm Zanx, and today we're going to be going over the review of Noire. In Noire, your job simply to investigate and solve cases. There's up to 26 cases, and they are all, in a way, they both have their own twists and turns as you go through each case. What makes Noire really good is actually, if you've seen it recently, it's the facial recognition, which actually looks pretty damn cool. 32 cameras aimed on one person to help capture every facial movement, which is actually what makes Noire seem like one of the most. It actually makes it seem like one of the most coolest things ever. Also, another thing that makes it really good: interrogations. Because of this facial recognition, you can actually tell when they're lying, when they're whether they doubt them or whether they tell if they're telling the truth. Sometimes they hide the facial thing and they keep a straight face. That's why you have to use evidence to sort out what's going on. Anyway, I guess we've got to go over the first thing of guessing one of the four main things I'm going over today. Anyway, first of all, let's go into the storyline first. Okay, for storyline, we've got three main possible things. Well, not possible, but this time I'm saying it. There's one, you've got a good twist at the very end of it, which makes it, almost just for the ending, which completely changes the expectations you'd have for the ending storyline. The story is actually, I'd say it's quite long, because it's like 26 cases, and that's still, not excluding the add-ons you may get, including the Naked City, and I think it was the Badge Pursuit Challenge, I think that's what it's called, yeah. And at the very end, it gets quite dramatic because you find out a few things at the very end about Cole and between Kelso that the two main, they're not Kelso isn't a main character, but he gets more delved in the storyline at the very end, which by the end of it, you're wondering how the hell did that happen, and oh my god, that looks absolutely. You may be happy or you may be extremely saddened by the ending, because I was actually quite saddened by it, because although it was quite dramatic, it was a good ending. Anyway, next thing, we got the cons of the storyline. I'd only say there's only like two main things about the cons that are kind of bad. Is the side missions where you're generally going on crimes. It's basically the same stuff. You're either chasing after them on foot, chasing after them in a car, or you're just going straight gunning down a robbery, which seems like the three main things that are quite annoying about the storyline. Like, you'd expect it to be a nice variety, but the only difference is change of characters, change of scene, and that's basically that. Another thing is, in the storyline, when you've got loads of different characters, yet when you're doing interrogations or you're like questioning them, it's really annoying because you think you know what they are, but they're not. It's like the facial movement, you would have thought there'd be some sort of smirk or something. Like, they look like they're lying, but they're actually telling the truth. Sometimes it's quite confusing. It doesn't make much sense considering you've got to such a great quality of like facial cameras. You still can't prove them to be the right thing. Okay, next we got graphics. Okay, for graphics, you've got kind of two main points, but it kind of sums up better than you'd hope for. When you're playing the game, as usual, you can see it's pretty damn clear graphics. I mean, you see people who are shooting at you can see their face perfectly. When you're maybe driving a car at fast speed, you can see still really, vivid, like images. It's really, really clear compared to other games. But then again, this game's came out quite recently. All I can say is that they have set the bar for quite a good graphics game. Also, we've also got, in the cutscenes, it almost look, because they use the facial recognition once again, it looks almost perfectly clear. Like, you could look like it almost, like, besides the fact they've got the sort of game effect, it does look almost realistic, like they could be real people, even though it's kind of based on real people, but, you're catching my drift here. Okay, also, we've got the cons. Okay, also, for the cons of it, I say, when you kill people, I mean, you're either seeing, like, the way you shoot them, you'd expect them to get, say you shot them with a shotgun, you'd expect them to get blown back, not just to fall on their knees as if they fought like there was no actual, it was like they didn't properly get, killed. It was just like they got tapped by something and they just decided to just drop dead. Another thing, this may just be me, but when you're talking to people on the thing, like interrogating them or asking them questions, it looks like, for the women, the hair got clamped down and just glued to their head, which it doesn't even look like a wig. It looks like someone just tried to paint it on a bald head, and it seems like they've all got the same freaking. They actually almost have the only thing it changes is the body and the theatre. It's not theatre, but like they've different clothes, different face, and that is it. The rest of it just seems to be like the same freaking hairstyle for the men and the women. It may just be me, but personally, it just looks really retarded. Okay, next now we got smoothness. Okay, for smoothness, the good things are, like, when you walk, you can just walk straight down the street and you'll still look like a boss. Like, no matter what you do, you will just look so smooth when you're walking. You could do a turn, you could open a door or whatever, you will just still look like a boss. Also, you know, when you're free running or chasing after someone, you just need to run towards something and you can jump over it. And say also when you're like, say someone just sprints away, it locks on you for the first couple of seconds just so you can get out of the building. Because sometimes you might be chasing them for a really cramped area like a building or some hallways. Or when you're climbing up or climbing up or down poles or those New York style stair things on the outside of buildings, it makes it so smooth and it's just so easy to navigate compared to other games where you're always in control and it makes things really annoying. Okay, and for the cons of the smoothness, sometimes it can be like when you're driving, it seems to be the same sort of movement, same ethos sort of thing. And when you're chasing someone or opening a door or going for an elevator, it seems to be really freaking dodgy. Like you'd be doing the exact same actions. Like for example, say if you go in an elevator, you're going to be going and pressing the button, the person will go in at the exact same time, same timing. You would have thought it'd be maybe one or two different ways to go into an elevator, push the button and stand in there, not just the same stuff. It also comes in the same way when you're doing jumping over, maybe chasing after someone and you're climbing up a pole or climbing up a stairway, like the New York style ones. It doesn't seem to have much of a, doesn't seem to have a different feeling. You could do it for maybe 5 or 10 times, I don't know, a different timing. But eventually you will get bored of it because of that one reason. But apart from that, I can't really say there's any other proper cons. Okay guys, if you want to see the final overall verdict of what I'm going to give the game, Noire, then click the link in the box here, it'll take you straight to the video and you can find out the end result of what I think of Noire.